It's true.
Okay, and
Louisiana is just one giant cesspool of reproduction. I'm telling you.
You're telling me?
My
dad's from Cutoff, bro. I understand.
Bring someone to me. I will tell you how I know them. Anyway, Stevie P joins us in here.
Sisters, brothers, mothers, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's all something.
You said it. I didn't.
All right, Stevie P joins us after the weekend that we had in Louisiana sports.
Yeah.
It seems as if when one falls, the rest of the state falls too, especially at the beginning of the season.
Can we start over?
Yeah.
Can we
start over.
Well, I was just kind of hoping this was just a preseason extension.
Yeah.
You know,
unfortunately, it's not. Although
Okay.
the Saints haven't played yet, so.
Yeah, okay, the Saints haven't played yet. Okay, let's start with the Cajuns.
Yes.
Wow. Wow that there were even some staffing changes.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to win. I don't think a lot of people, being realistic, would have expected them to win. I think that there are a lot of people, myself included, that totally expected them to play better. However, didn't happen. Boise State really did what they wanted in the first half offensively, and of course that led to the change being made at the defensive coordinator position. And a lot of football left. Got to get a lot better, however. I mean, there's 11 games left. You got a big one coming up Saturday against McNeese State. You got to look a whole lot better because McNeese is a team that lost one game last year, and you won their season opener against Tarleton State 33-3. So yeah, the Cajuns are gonna have to be a lot better if they're going to win. And I suspect that they will be. I mean, maybe that's just the optimist in me talking. There was some good things. I mean, I thought Anthony Jennings played well at quarterback. I thought that. Actually, the defensive line did a pretty good job against the run, but there's no mistake, and they got to get a lot better.
A lot of people call after a big loss like that. A lot of people call for heads to roll, as they say. Usually, it doesn't. No. I was actually kind of surprised.
Yeah, I was too.
But you're right, because if you have McNeese next week with their huge opener, with their record, it was going to happen all over again. So,
I like how you just kind of laughed at that.
Fingers crossed. I don't know what you got to do.
They say the most improvement is made from the first game to the second game than any point in the season, and and they're going to need that. They got to get a whole lot better, and maybe that's just optimist in me speaking, but I think that they will. I still think that they have a lot of talent, and they're going to get better as the year progresses. There's some things to build on, but there's no doubt it was a disappointing opening week performance.
So let's talk about LSU. Was Les Miles actually on the sideline of the same game that we were watching on TV? Because after whatever that was that happened, I won't even call that a game. Whatever happened, he said, "We threw the ball well." Which by the way, is a standard Les Miles comment. Mm-hmm. But you didn't, even in this case.
Right.
A lot of times that's a great catch-all.
Yeah.
If they beat you on defense, however. But you didn't really throw the ball well
no.
either. Does it seem to you, and you watch this stuff a lot closer than I do, but from the comfort of my lazy boy recliner, it looks like the whole LSU team is just not motivated or not. I don't know what the deal is.
It's the type of football that they play.
Exciting.
It's smash mouth football. I know a lot of people kind of took Les to task and had fun with it. But as you mentioned, that's just a typical Les Miles answer. I mean, he knows better than that. He's just it's just basically coach speak. Actually, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me with this. And I'm talking about in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. I thought LSU they didn't run enough. They had the lead. They had a 14-13 lead. And they had a 2nd and 6, and Leonard Fournette had been running the ball well. He picked up 4 yards on a first down, and then they decided to throw it. It's 2 incomplete passes. Then on their next possession, they still have a 14-13 lead. Fournette picks up 4 more yards again on first down, 2nd down and 6, and then they elect to pass, and Brandon Harris gets sacked. Yeah. So I mean, I think when you got a back like Leonard Fournette, you just continue to run him in that situation, unless you open up the passing game a little bit more in the first half, which they didn't do. But again, that's a disappointing loss for LSU because they were a national title contender, and I guess they still are, but yet at the same time, that's a big opening week loss, and they got to go through the SEC and everything. So they're really behind the 8 ball right now in terms of that.
The stats that are coming up, because I always love these brains. Mm-hmm. You've probably seen them in the back. The guys that don't look good on TV, but they do all the stats.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden, as soon as that loss happened, you start seeing it would been like the first. I may have this totally wrong, but it was like the first time since some year in the 70s that an unranked team beat a top 5 team in week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just really unexpected.
No, it was. But at the same time, Wisconsin is not your, donkeys of the year.
Yeah,
they are a team
that's
it's typically in the top 25, and they have pretty uniforms too. That's another thing.
Yeah. That's usually what Bernie pays attention to. Let's move on to the NFL. Saints with the game coming up. Also not looking very amazing themselves.
No.
But CBS News reporter, and I don't know if it has come out from other places since then, reporting that what Drew Brees is asking for in his storied contract negotiation process that has seemed to have obviously it started. I mean, it's been going on forever, but we've been talking about it since the season ended earlier this year. $100 million for 4 years. Is he worth that to you?
You know what bothers me about this? And the answer to that, I think, is yes. Because I still think that he has a few years left in him. But you know what bothers me about that is that it was leaked. Now, here's my question is, who leaked it?
Yep.
If it's the Saints that leaked it, then we got a problem, folks, because I think the Saints leaked that to get Saints fans to say, oh, well, he's not worth $100 million over 4 years.
I agree.
And that's the concerning thing about me. If that's the Saints that leaked that, and I don't think that Drew Brees leaked that, I'm tempted to believe that the Saints did it, because why would Brees and his agent do it? You know, because it almost makes him look a little bit greedy, doesn't it?
It does.
So if the Saints leak that, then they might be posturing to get their fans on their side in case Brees leaves. That's the most disconcerting thing to me about that. I hope it works out because, we see what...
Interesting thought.
What teams need, how teams need a quarterback. I mean, look, the Minnesota Vikings lose Teddy Bridgewater, and they go out and they trade a first-round draft choice and a fourth-round draft choice to the Eagles for a backup quarterback in Sam Bradford. You got to have a quarterback, and Brees is still an elite quarterback. But I'm just really concerned that the Saints leaked that.
So what happens if all this crumbles and the season has already started?
Right. Well, Brees has already said he's not negotiating once the season begins. So at 12 noon on Sunday, according to him, he's not. Now, we all change our minds, and, if the Saints come to him and say, well, we're going to give you $500 million for 2 years, I bet he negotiates then.
Can't get a certified check for today.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting stuff. Who do they play first? Remind me
The
again?
Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders, yes. All right. Well, I guess we'll look ahead to that, Stevie P. Hopefully, we'll have you on Mondays during the season.
And hopefully, it'll be a lot more pleasant visit next Monday. Hopefully, the Cajuns will come out with a victory over McNeese State. Even though, again, that's a McNeese State team that's very, very dangerous. LSU plays Jacksonville State, and the Saints will play the Raiders.
All right. Well, you can pick them right with us on KPEL965.com. Stevie P and the whole ESPN 1420 team also picking, as well as a lot of the people on the air here in our building. You got a random?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you just have to leave it. It's kind of that's kind of how I feel about gambling.
Hey, man.
When you don't think about it,
I was in the lead last 2 weeks of last go round last year.
Oh, really?
Woo, yeah.
Last 2 weeks don't really matter.
No.
And usually those are the easiest ones to pick.
I didn't mean the last 2 weeks. I meant the first 2 weeks.
I was about to say,
which is even more lame.
And then you said,
but it was random and fun.
Then you said, this is too easy. I win every game.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Go log in at KPEL965.com, click on News Junkies, put all your information there, and play right along with us. And you don't have to wear pads. You don't get bruises. All right? 6:50 now at KPEL.